The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan with the weekly perspective for the week ending 9 January 2026. All right, I am on our landing page, themorganreport.com. Been asked by a few people, how do you get to all the free stuff? It's right up here at the top, this menu bar. That's like a bio, different memberships we have, consultations, but you want to hit the blog. And when you do that, obviously you get the blog right away. So I want to talk a little bit about this and some recent interviews. The first one I did this past week was up here. This is the newest one. Who really controls silver prices inside the COMEX, LBMA, and Shanghai Futures Exchange? So this was an interview with a gentleman I've interviewed before, or he's interviewed me before, I should say. And I just broke it down on really the purpose of those three entities. And one's basically derivatives of COMEX, the other one's an association with a pooled account amongst the good old boys to kind of secure silver as required. Whether one entity has it or not, they pool their resources and basically cover the physical market as required with a lot of paper that's opaque. It isn't seen. You don't get numbers on it per se. They do have stuff on their website, but how valid is it? We don't know. And then the Shanghai is basically implemented to have a physical market where industrial users or others, but primarily industrial users, had access to the physical metal. So much different purpose in all three of those. So anyway, I broke those down. The next one over here to the right is someone I met on a networking event I was in for some time. He's very adept at wealth preservation from more of a financial markets perspective, using insurance, the insurance products for you, and certainly a worthwhile interview, especially if you're estate planning or something like that. It's not a financial advice. It's just who I spoke to. I trust the guy, and he definitely knows what he's doing. Next one was one I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I call it more of a conversation, although I did less talking, with Francis Hunt, the market sniper. I've watched a lot of his work, and we agree on a lot of things. And I had put a lot of thought into it before the interview, and I had three really primary questions, which he covered in depth with great clarity. And he also wanted to know about the gold, long gold short oil trade that he has on and still has on it, and what he's expecting to see at the bottom. No one knows for sure, but it's quite good at what he does. And then one in the platinum, a little deeper than probably most of us in the precious metals community. So that one I would definitely say might be something this weekend. It's a long one, but I don't think there's any fluff in it at all. And this last one is talking about the fact that many are saying the same thing, and it's true, that industry really doesn't care too much about the price. They care about availability. They care about the physical silver that they have available to them to continue in business. And once that has caught fire, which I believe it has, in fact, I believe it caught on fire metaphorically 2, 3, 4 months ago. And since that time, we've gotten verification on that fact with certain entities coming into South America and asking to buy direct. Samsung, who already had a long-standing offtake agreement with Avino Silver. I know that Avino Gold and Silver is on our list for a very long time. Point being that they picked up another silver mine, and it's sort of a industry where it's a copycat industry in some ways, and which leads me to think that we could see more, let's say, entities that require silver to stay in business to perhaps make similar ideas or proposals to go into certain mining districts, areas, whatever. Many already have like a relationship with the refiner, and they're just basically allocated so much metal. But when things get tight, price was the true mediator. So if someone outbids you or whatever, it's usually going to go whoever bids the highest. So bear that in mind. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here on our Twitter or X feed here. This is our channel here, and shout out to all the followers. Really grateful. I'm over 100,000. Made it over 100,000 not that long ago, and it's bumped up 24,000 more. And I will attribute that to silver, that so many more people are interested in silver. I will probably put a tweet up here in the next week or two. I want to do a marketing survey. If I update the Silver Manifesto, how many would be interested in buying the book? I mean, I did a couple runs at 1,000, and it's quite a while. I'd say 70, almost touching 80% of the book is fine as is, but probably 20, 25% definitely needs to be updated, especially with all the newer technology that I didn't talk about in the first version. So there's that. You might watch for it. As far as going through what I posted, this is a very interesting post here. The amount of shorts that poured in the 2X leverage ETF had a tremendous amount of money, over 110 million inflow. That shows you graphically what it looks like. So some big money is going massively short silver. So bear that in mind. Another Squeaky Mouse has done some really good technical work. He reached out to me a few years back, I'm going to say, a couple, 3 maybe. And he does not bother me. He's very useful, helpful to me. And anyway, he's been doing some pretty interesting technical work, and most of the time he's pretty spot on. So I repost him fairly often. Not much else to say here. Talking a little bit about platinum. I'm still quite bullish platinum, and as I said earlier, the interview with Francis Hunt and I'll give you a little more insights and his thoughts about platinum. Say he's more bullish than me, but I'm still bullish. So I'm at 7 minutes. I'm going to leave it there. This is just getting started in 2026. There's more news than you'll ever need per day now in the silver world because it's been so strong the past year. And I do expect this year to be quite good and maybe accelerate further. I don't know. It looks like we're going to take a pause here for a while. But again, that remains to be determined on all the deliveries through this month. The rebalancing of portfolios where they're required to rebalance and sell silver off. But most of that silver that's in those is basically ETFs. Not that it wouldn't cause the price move to the downside, it could. But don't bank on it, because for every buyer, there's a seller, supposedly anyhow. And there are people in the hedge fund world that want to buy silver in any form, hopefully physical, of course, but many just play the ETF game. So that's it. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective.
The U.S. government debt is about to cross $37 trillion. That's not a typo. That's trillion with a T. Tariffs are being used to try and even the playing fields. Global supply chains are shifting. Inflation isn't going away. And the value of your dollar? It's quietly being drained while no one is really talking about this. The truth is, we're living through the early stages of a financial reset, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. And if you're still relying on mainstream headlines or financial advisors who just tell you to write it out, you could be blindsided when things really shift. That's where the Morgan Report comes in. For over 25 years, David Morgan has been helping investors cut through the noise. He tracks what actually drives markets, from precious metals and mining stocks to global debt and monetary policy, and show you how to protect and grow your wealth when the system is under stress. This isn't just about gold and silver. It's about having a clear-eyed view of where things are headed and making sure you're not caught off guard. The Morgan Report gives you real research, honest analysis, and strategies you can act on, even in a world of rising debt, unstable currencies, and economic uncertainty. Go to themorganreport.com today, download your free report, get informed, get ahead, and take back control of your financial future. Themorganreport.com, because $37 trillion in debt won't